Sometimes, the quietest nights hide the loudest truths, and one unexpected invitation can change everything you believe about love and trust. He thought it was a celebration, but it became the night his life fell apart. This is a story about truth, pain, and the difficult road to redemption. After what felt like an eternity on a grueling business trip, Ethan could practically taste home. He pictured his kids' laughter echoing through the halls, smelled the comforting aroma of dinner on the stove, and yearned for the warmth of his wife's smile. It was supposed to be a simple, peaceful family evening, a small celebration of being together again after so long apart. But as he turned the key and stepped through the door, an unsettling silence greeted him. The house was quiet, almost too quiet. Something was wrong. His wife, Laura, finally appeared, but her smile didn't reach her eyes. It was a mask, a carefully constructed facade. Her eyes seemed distant, lost in some far-off thought, and her words were measured, as if she were walking on eggshells. Ethan tried to brush it off. "She's just tired," he told himself, trying to quiet the unease growing in his gut. He had missed her, missed him, and he wanted everything to be normal. Later that night, just as the quiet of the house was beginning to feel heavy, Laura handed him a small, plain envelope. His name was written on the front in her familiar script. Confused, he opened it. Inside was a single, handwritten note. "Meet me tomorrow night. There's something you need to know." His heart began to pound against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the sudden stillness. An address was scrawled below. Why the secrecy? Why this strange, formal invitation? Why couldn't she just talk to him now? 1,000 questions swirled in his mind, each one darker than the last. He held the note, the crisp paper feeling cold and alien in his hand. The night stretched on, filled with a sense of dread that sleep could not erase. The next evening, a knot of anxiety tightened in Ethan's stomach as he drove to the address on the note. It was a quiet, unassuming restaurant on the edge of town, the kind of place you go when you don't want to be seen. He walked in, his eyes scanning the dimly lit room, searching for Laura. But she wasn't there. Instead, a stranger sat waiting at a corner table, his expression calm and unreadable. As Ethan approached, the man stood and introduced himself, and with every quiet, carefully chosen word, he began to dismantle Ethan's world. He revealed shocking truths, not of a passionate affair, but of something far more insidious. He spoke of hidden decisions, a tangled web of secrets and deceptions that had been quietly unraveling their marriage for years. It wasn't about a betrayal of the heart, but a betrayal of honesty. A slow poison of lies had seeped into the foundation of everything Ethan believed to be true. He learned of choices Laura had made without him, burdens she had carried alone, and truths she had twisted to protect a reality that no longer existed. He sat there listening in stunned silence as the image of his life, his marriage, and the woman he loved shattered into a million unrecognizable pieces. That night, Ethan's world didn't collapse with a scream, but with a deafening, soul-crushing silence. There was no shouting, no storm of accusations. Ethan didn't blame the man or demand answers from Laura. He simply stood up, walked out of the restaurant, and let the cold night air press against his chest, a futile attempt to hold himself together. For days, he was a ghost. He wandered through his own life, replaying every moment, every conversation, every shared smile, searching for the signs he must have missed. The clues were there, he realized now, hidden in plain sight, a diverted glance, a half-finished sentence, a sudden distance he had mistaken for fatigue. The truth was a harsh, blinding light on years of shadows. When Laura finally broke down and confessed everything, her words tumbled out in a torrent of guilt, fear, and regret. She explained her mistakes, her reasons, the corner she had backed herself into, and as Ethan listened, a profound realization washed over him. He understood that forgiveness wasn't about erasing the past or pretending the pain didn't exist. It was about choosing to release himself from the crushing weight of it, to stop carrying the burden of her secrets as his own. It was about setting himself free. Months passed. The sharp edges of the pain began to soften. Ethan started the slow, arduous process of rebuilding. But he wasn't just rebuilding his life. He was rebuilding himself. He found a strange peace in radical honesty, a quiet healing in solitude, and a newfound strength in facing the unvarnished truth. He learned to trust his own intuition again, to find solace not in another person, but within his own resilience. One cool morning, he stood at the edge of the ocean, watching the waves relentlessly wash the shore clean. A constant cycle of endings and new beginnings. The salt spray felt like a baptism. He took a deep breath, the first truly deep breath he'd taken in what felt like a lifetime, and whispered to the vastness before him, "I can't change what happened, but I can choose what happens next." And in that moment, it wasn't an end. It was the beginning of his new story. The hardest truths are often the ones that set us free. In the wreckage of every betrayal, there lies a profound lesson not just about the actions of others, but about who we have the strength to become in the aftermath. Pain fades, but the truth remains. And true healing only begins when you finally face the things you fear the most. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the depths of the human experience. Until next time, take care.